Oh, that M. Night Shyamalan's at it again with another crazy movie.
I gotta say, this bit, it's getting pretty old.
This bit of M. Night Shyamalan making movies and having them be very strange.
You're getting a bit old for this, M. Night. You're getting a bit old, 2021, directed by M. Night Shyamalan, for this.
Yeah. So this isn't old. This is a new film known as Knock at the Cabin.
God, it has a real title. We're back to having real titles.
It is another wild movie that I just needed to tell you about, Meg, because it's so quintessentially the M. Night Shyamalan bag.
Oh boy. So we're getting ready for Shyamalan to go full Shyamalan.
Yes, essentially. There is a think like The Happening 2, but through the lens of Signs. It's essentially Signs meets The Happening.
Wow.
So this movie begins with this little girl, Wen, the adopted daughter of this like gay couple, one of whom is Jonathan Groff, the other whom is Ben Aldridge. So their names are Eric and Andrew.
Okay.
And basically they're on this vacation in a cabin. We open with their daughter Wen. She's just like, being a kid, collecting bugs, taking notes on like, what the bugs are up to, giving them names. It's all very wholesome. And then, like, Dave Bautista just kind of walks out of the woods.
Okay.
And he's like, it's Dave Bautista shows up, and he's just wearing, like a button-down shirt. He's got, like, glasses on. He just rolls up, and he's just like, hey, what are you up to? You good at catching grasshoppers? I can help you catch grasshoppers.
Okay.
And immediately, like, the little girl is immediately like, this is really suspicious. Don't talk to strangers. What the fuck? So they end up getting to talking a little bit, and the camera makes this extra, like, uncomfortable, like, in awkward, like, in an intentional way, I think, by just having, like, reverse shot of extreme close-ups to both of their faces.
I don't like the idea of that.
What I will say about this whole movie going into it, this feels less like a horror movie and more like an awkward movie. Horror movie plot points do happen. Horrifying things do occur in this movie, but it is the most awkward movie that has this level of stakes that I've ever seen.
I feel like that's a Shyamalan staple of just like a pervasive awkwardness.
Yes, yeah. And this movie captures that like really, really well. Even more so than like some of his more recent offerings. So this guy is named Leonard. After he talks to Wen for a bit, he goes, hey, so you and your two dads, you've done nothing wrong, but you're going to have to make some really difficult choices today. And I want you to, just tell them to let me in.
Is he funny gamesing them?
The funny gamesing starts really quickly. There is the knock on the cabin. The people are outside. Dave Bautista has like a battle axe that's also like clearly built out of a rake. They've all got these like makeshift battle arms that feel like they're like straight out of like an old like medieval, like these are the props left behind at the Ren Fair sort of thing.
Amazing. I love this.
So the two dads are looking out the window and they're like, okay, well that guy's fucking huge and he's not alone, and they're all packing weapons. Like, we're not gonna let them in. So Daddy Andrew basically says like, I have a gun, and like Eric goes, but it's in your car, and it's like, they don't know that. They don't have to know that. So we know that there is now a gun in the car outside. This group of people has already slashed the tires, but like if they can get outside and get to that gun, maybe they have a chance.
Okay.
The people are directly outside the house. They're directly outside the door.
So there's like more people, more like unnamed mob members outside.
There are exactly 4 of them. And they're very politely being like, yo, let us into the cabin. Like, this is a really difficult thing, but it's very important work that needs to be done, and it needs to be done today. If you could just let us in, like, be like, I don't mean to intrude, but can you just let us in? Like, they're being so polite about it.
That's really funny. Of just like, hi, we have weapons. Please let us into your house.
Yeah, like time is of the essence. Like, please, we're on a tight schedule. Just like let us in. Like, my God, like Dave Bautista just doing this whole like we don't mean to barge in. Like, we met your lovely daughter. She's very nice.
I'm so sorry to do this, but we do have to funny games you.
Yeah, we do have to funny games you. So basically, like, after like a while of this, Redmond, Rupert Grint's character, kind of loses it, and he's like, "Hey, let us in!" And he's like kind of the aggressive one, and they're like, "Oh, come on, man, you're coming on too strong. Like, you're gonna scare them." And so the two dads and Wen start locking doors and windows. We see like Dave Bautista like Varouche past one of the windows, and it's like, "Oh, he's gonna get in." Like, and so they lock all the stuff, and then this 4-person team starts busting windows, starts trying to kick down doors, and they're trying to get into the house. Before any of the funny games begin, they get in with their medieval weapons, and the two dads pick up like stuff from around the house to defend themselves, and just everybody is just Skyrimming.
Everyone is Skyrimming?
Yes, everyone is just swinging like medieval weapons at each other and Skyrimming and battling. Sabrina, who's the nurse, is going up against Eric, who's like swinging like a fireplace prod, and she's like, "It didn't have to be like this," and she hits him in the head, and like he gets a concussion. So Andrew, while he's like, he gets done beating the shit out of like Rupert Grint, and then he's just like, "What have you done?" And she goes, "I'm a nurse. I can fix." "Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to. I'm a triage nurse. I can do this. Just let me." Like,
oh my god. I see what you mean about this just being an awkward film.
yes.
This just feels like a weird LARP.
Yeah, so like what happens is that like everybody get tied up, and the funny gamesing can like finally begin because now everyone's in the cabin, the dads are tied up. Wen has some like cartoons playing because they're like, she knows the situation's fucked up, but like they want something to like keep her sort of occupied while the nurse was like treating the head injury.
Yeah.
He's still got sensitivity to light, which is pretty common after a concussion, but like he's tied up, but like he's not he's not in danger of death.
Okay.
So he's in stable condition. Both the dads are tied up. Dave Bautista is like, once everything's kind of copacetic, he goes over to the TV and he's like, "I'm sorry to interrupt this cartoon. It seems like a lovely show that teaches like," and it's something like Paw Patrol or something. Like he's like, it's something that teaches like independence, but also like interpersonal connection.
You've compared it to Signs, and now I'm just thinking, are these people aliens? Have they been like body snatched?
They are human, but they have been affected by the happening that is happening in this movie.
Oh god, a happening is happening. No.
Let me tell you, Meg, what the happening is.
What is the happening, Gus? I need to know.
So, Dave Bautista turns off the TV and he goes like, "Okay, so I'm gonna level with you. We were sent here by horrific visions of the apocalypse because we need to come to this house and one member of your family has to be sacrificed, but you have to choose who that member is and you have to kill them. We are just here to make sure this process goes smoothly so that the end of the world can be presented." So they are funny gamesing them, but also they are the cabin in the woodsing them.
Oh, wow. So this is that kind of cabin, huh?
Yeah, the dads are like, "Well, that's fucking bullshit. Like, none of our family's gonna die." And they accuse them immediately of being like religious nuts and like being like homophobic, which reasonable assumption given the circumstances. Like Dave Bautista's like, we have no problem the fact that you two love each other very much. In fact, like, your family love is part of the reason why like it has to be a family like you. The nurse chimes in like, "Yeah, we don't have a homophobic bone in our body."
Wow.
The line cook girl goes like, "Yeah, I don't hate anyone." And like the door she just busted through, she's like, "But I have like some conflicted feelings about this door."
This is so M. Night.
Yeah, and so Redmond goes like, "Well, do we really have to like, reassure them or get to know them? Like, I'm not like whatever. It's a surprise that they're gay, but let's move the fuck on." And so Dave Bautista starts launching into a like, here's what's going to happen when the apocalypse comes. The ocean is going to rise up like a big fish. Sorry, not a big fish, a big fist, and batter the coastlines.
I would have believed a big fish more. What does rising up like a big fist mean?
He says it's gonna like rise up like a fist and just smash the coastline.
I am just imagining all of the water in the world forming into a big fist that just punches America.
I mean, basically that's what he's saying. And then he says a big virus will break out, like a fever, and everybody will be like covered in buboes and writhing.
Oh my god, they're in the bubo pit! I love the bubo pit. It's my favorite place in the world.
So then, next, the third plague is the sky will fall down. The sky will fall down like pieces of glass. The final plague is that God's fingers will scorch the earth. Eternal darkness will fall over the world.
This really is Cabin in the Woods.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I'm just thinking about you saying God's fingers will scorch the earth. It just makes me think of the big hand coming up out of the ground.
Yeah. So it feels very Cabin in the Woods. It also feels very Knowing. You know that Nicolas Cage movie, Knowing?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, all I know about Knowing is that on Cracked.com back in the day, they had a caption contest with pictures of Nicolas Cage, and one of the winners was one of him running and Knowing, and the caption was, "I have to warn everybody, maths is coming."
Yeah, so instead of maths, it's like a very awkward, like, we have to do this, like, you know, family get-together, family therapy thing, in which one of you has to choose the person you most want to sacrifice, and then you kill them, and then the end of the world is prevented.
That is wild.
And so this is when they give all of their jobs. Like I said, Adrian, she's a line cook. Sabrina, she's a nurse. Redmond, he works for the gas company. And Leonard is a second grade teacher, which is why he's so good with kids.
Okay. Leonard is Dave Bautista, right?
Yeah, Leonard's Dave Bautista.
Okay.
So, like, he's the one who's sort of, like, leading the group in all of these, like, in sort of, like, the processions. He tells them all about this vision. He tells them about the sacrifice. The whole time, he's, like, you know, on the verge of tears, just like, yeah, it has to be done. We gotta do it. Like, it's the only way. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to make anyone have the worst day that they've ever had.
Not trying to ruin anyone's day.
So that's the energy of this.
This kind of feels like a I think you should leave horror movie of just like people in just weird situations.
No, that's what this is. That's like that. It is like if Funny Games was done by two crying Wesley Snipes who were like, "Don't make me do this."
The crying Wesley Snipes and then like the crying little kid with the gun from the other version of that meme.
And so Redmond goes, "Well, I didn't want it to come to this, but," and he puts a sock over his head. He covers himself like, you know, in an airtight sock. He's like, "I'm really, really scared." And then the others gather around him with their medieval weapons. And he says, "Part of humanity has been judged." And they all smash in his head.
What? So what, he's the sacrifice now?
No, because then they turn on the TV and tidal waves are hitting the coasts of America. A tidal wave destroys Hawaii. A tidal wave hits California. Tidal waves are happening. The ocean is a big fist now.
The ocean is just punching them.
Yes, yeah, the ocean is it's just pummeling them. It is ripping and grabbing cities off the coast.
So why did they bash Rupert Grint to death? Was he trying to be the sacrifice and it just didn't work?
Basically, each of them can release a plague with their death. They don't want to do it, but they're like, if you make the sacrifice first, we don't need to die. But if you delay the sacrifice, we need to each die in a specific order to release a plague.
Why? Don't they want to not have that happen?
But it's the visions. The visions tell them this shit.
I thought they were trying to stop the apocalypse. So it's like, okay, you can stop the apocalypse, but if you don't, we will not do it for you, even though we absolutely have the ability to keep it from happening by not killing each other.
So the mechanics of this are unclear. And it gets even more kind of muddled when Andrew goes like, we actually knew about those tsunamis have already been reported on already. Like, that's they've been timing this shit with their watches. Like, they said they were on a tight timetable. They knew these news reports are coming. They're trying to, like, psych us out. They're trying to scare us.
But what about the part where the sky's gonna fall?
We'll get to that. Throughout this film, we've been getting little bits of, you know how horror movies sometimes have, like, the preamble where you get the backstory of the character's scenario?
Yes.
This one doesn't really have that. Instead, it opts for doing, like, bits of backstory in throughout the film. So, like, the dinner that Eric and Andrew had with their parents when it showed that they were kind of homophobic, the adopting of Wen, bits and pieces like that. One of these things is a memory that Andrew has, a guy who looked exactly like Redmond in the past attacking him at a bar.
Okay.
So Andrew's immediately thinking, okay, so that guy, like, that's why he was so sketchy and weird. He's the guy who did a hate crime on me from, like, way back when.
That's pretty interesting. I kind of like that. Like, I like it when things are a bit ambiguous as to how supernatural something is.
Well, I mean, for now, it's ambiguous.
Yeah, I mean, like, I know it's gonna go completely off the rails and be, like, entirely supernatural, but I do like things that are a little bit open. Like, they never explain, but they give you two options. Things like Pan's Labyrinth do that really well. Like, where it's like, yeah, you can believe that it's, like, all in Ophelia's imagination, or you can believe that it's all real, but the movie's never going to tell you which one's true.
It goes to some crazy places because that's, Shyamalan movies are typically high concept like that, which is fine. That's his style. What I like about this moment with, like, Redmond and with the flashback is that it sets off a second Chekhov's gun where it's like, Redmond's body is outside and in his wallet would be his ID with his real name. And they can find out if his name is actually Redmond or if it's Rory O'Bannon, who was the guy who did the hate crime.
Okay.
So Dave Bautista's like, we don't want to do that. It doesn't really matter. I mean, we were all picked by the visions, It's clearly this is really happening. You saw the TV. Like, guys, make this easy. Like, we don't want to do this.
We don't want to kill each other and end the world, even though we don't want the world to end. I don't know what their opinion on the world ending is anymore.
Like, neither do they. They just seem like to be like, the visions are real and the end is coming, but we have to act according to them. They even, the other bit of ambiguity at this point is that they say, like, well, it's all happening just like on the message board. And Andrew just goes, message board?
Gus, do you want to know why I was laughing just now?
What?
Just thought about old. It's been like 2 years and that's still the funniest thing in the world to me.
It's pretty good. It never gets old, you might say. Andrew is, like, very skeptical this whole time. He, like, keeps finding ways to doubt the evidence. Kind of says, like, well, even if this is happening, like, screw humanity. Like, I'm a human rights lawyer. I have seen, like, like, all the terrible things people do.
Wow.
Like, just piles of dead kids. Like, there's not anything you can show me that will convince me that humanity's worth saving. Bold move.
Wow.
Then Dave Bautista, Leonard, steps forward, and he holds out a photograph, and he's like, these are the boys I coach. They're not a particularly good team, but they're making improvements. You look me in the eye and tell me they deserve to die. It's just like, holy fucking shit.
Wow. Okay.
Again, this is like at this point in the movie, it's like really, really, like, there's just this pervasive, like, misery and awkwardness, because it's just like, well, I don't want any of these people to, like, if Redmond was Rory, then he's dead.
Okay.
So there's now no malicious figure in this movie. There's just a bunch of people who are probably all going to die in this cabin. It's also said that, like, if the family doesn't make the sacrifice, they'll be the three people spared by the apocalypse, so they'll just wander the burnt out, destroyed world.
Wow.
It like sounds really, really bleak. Next up is who says, like, I didn't mention this before. I'm next to go, but I have a son. It's kind of like, you guys are my last hope that I'll ever get to see him again. If you don't do the thing you need to do, he's gonna die too. And, like, they're just kind of, like, hearing her saying all this. And again, it's, like, so, like, what the fuck? Like, nobody's happy. Everybody's crying. Everybody's
crying.
sad. Everybody's crying. Everybody's sad. She puts on the sock.
Why did they put on the sock? What is the sock? What does it look like? Tell me paint me a word picture. What does the sock look like?
It is a, like, white piece of fabric that goes over their head, and you could partially see through it. I guess it's just so that, like, they don't have to look at them. I don't know. It's scary. It's there to be
scary sock. Okay.
A scary sock. And not even all of them wear the socks when they're doing the sacrifice. It's only Redmond and Adrian. So I don't know. And so Sabrina and Leonard bash in Adrian's head.
Okay.
Adrian's now dead. She's hauled away. And then they're like, all right, time to turn on the TV. They turn on the TV. All of a sudden, a deadly flu virus has just like, it's going crazy. It's taken over the world. Everybody's dying of the deadly flu.
I love how quickly these things happen.
That's another moment where Andrew calls bullshit because he's like, oh, we've been hearing about the spread of this in the epicenters for weeks now. Like he is giving all these rational explanations. And Eric, who like, you know, in another scene was tended to by Sabrina, who said like, oh, I'm not even particularly religious. I just started seeing the visions and I couldn't unsee them. Eric's all like, you know, maybe it is the apocalypse. Maybe it's all real. Like, I thought I saw some kind of ghostly figure standing behind Redmond when they like in the light. I thought I saw like a figure standing there watching over this moment, like some sort of angel or a deity, like a figure. Andrew's like, dude, you've been concussed. Like,
yeah,
my husband, I love you, but you have been concussed. You are sensitive to light. You're going to see stuff like that. And so Eric kind of unconvincingly goes like, I guess it's all bullshit. I don't believe them. After like a bit more sort of like awkward conversation about like, okay, 2 of us are dead. We've only got 2 more people to burn. You might as well, pick one of yourselves and kill that person. But while this is going on, the family has created an escape plan when, from a meal that Adrian made for her before Adrian died, took the knife that was used to cut her food. She gave that to Eric. Eric's been cutting his bindings. Andrew's been like, you know, getting himself loose this whole time. So they break free while Wen does a like timed fake tantrum. Like, she goes like, I want the cartoons back on. I want the cartoons back on. She starts yelling.
How old is Wen?
She says she's almost 8.
She's almost 8. Okay, so she's little.
She is a really little kid, and the way that they set this up is by Eric going like, remember that thing you did last Thanksgiving? Do that as soon as I nod my head. And that's how we set up her doing like a big tantrum as a diversion.
Okay, that's kind of fun.
The family is all working together. They break out. Eric starts Skyrimming again.
You never should have come here.
Yeah, you never should have come here. And so he's facing off against Dave Bautista doing that. Meanwhile, Andrew doesn't initially hop in to help because he's got another thing that he's got to do. He's got to get that gun out of the car.
Yes.
So he goes out of the house. He heads over to the car. Like I said, slash tires. There's no way to go get help. Another thing, too, is that there's no phone connection out here because horror movie, cover their bases.
Yeah.
Yada, yada, yada. He gets hit by Sabrina and her, like, medieval weapon, and she goes, I just had to hit your leg so that you couldn't run away. It's not going to kill you.
I love how polite these people are. That's so funny to me.
Yeah, she's like, come on, get back in the house. I don't want to hurt you. Because one of the crucial things is that they can't kill any of the 3 people, or it just all falls apart. It automatically, the plagues just happen.
Okay.
It has to be the family picks a sacrifice, and the family kills the sacrifice. These 4 people can't do any of it. So that's why they're just like, oh, no, don't try to kill us. We can't kill you. So Andrew gets into the car. He throws some like rocks into Sabrina's eyes. And then she doesn't know about the gun. Like, she thought the gun was a bluff because it wasn't in the house. So she's like, whatever you're going for, like, you know, stop it. And so he gets the gun and he turns and he shoots, but he misses her.
Oh.
Then there's like a gun standoff where he goes like, okay, drop the weapon, back up. She like backs up, drops her weapon, and she like runs away. So Andrew gets back into the house. Eric has been Skyrimming the whole time. His hands were unbound, but his legs were not. So he's kind of been like half on the chair, half not, trying to like...
I would like it if he like hopped. That'd be funny.
Yeah, so it's basically him fighting the most awkward way, and Dave Bautista. So it's Jonathan Groff in a chair, tied to a chair, And Dave Bautista just being like, oh, can you cut it out? We don't want to, can you just knock it off? And we'll just stop it. Like, that sort of shit. Andrew, like, he aims the gun at Dave Bautista and he goes like, I know what this is all about. You're a group of like, religious crazy people. You were a patron in that same bar as that other guy. You went and found like, a line cook who shared your beliefs. And then you went and found like a nurse who could be convinced of everything so that you could torture us all together and do your weird apocalypse fantasy. You planned out these news reports, and like he just goes on, and like Leonard's just like, I swear, like, no, we didn't want any of this to happen.
I still don't understand why are they killing each other to start the apocalypse if they don't want the apocalypse to happen? Is it gonna happen?
The script says they gotta, like, they're on a strict time schedule, and like I think what it is that every time a sacrifice comes up, like, if they don't kill someone, all of the plagues happen all at once, but it doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make sense.
No, as the movie goes on, it's so much, like, it's clear that all of the plagues were already happening. Dave Bautista says, it's time for the next sacrifice, like, we need to kill Sabrina, and Sabrina runs in, and Andrew, thinking that she's gonna attack him, shoots her, and she dies.
Oh my god.
And Dave Bautista goes over, and he goes, a part of humanity's been judged, and bludgeons her with the weapon.
A part of humanity has been judged.
Which is what they say every time they do the sacrifice.
How? They're literally the same people every time.
Yeah, no, it's a guy who works for the gas company has been judged, then a line cook has been judged, then a nurse has been judged, and eventually a second grade teacher will be judged. And don't worry, Shyamalan's going somewhere with that. We just gotta hold on to this, like, Lady in the Water-esque archetypal ride that we're on.
Oh my god, this is very Cabin in the Woods with, like, the archetypes.
No, it certainly is. After killing Sabrina, Andrew's shell-shocked by, like, having just taken a life for the first time. We get a flashback that says, like, everything about why he had a gun and why he's been so, like, aggressive in this whole movie. It is because, like, years of therapy post getting attacked by that guy in a bar and, like, training in a gym, getting a gun to protect himself. The thing is, the characters in this make consistent sense. The plot around them is absurd. It's impossible to understand. Again, Dave Bautista's like, all right, switch on the TV. And so Sabrina's plague was everything the sky falls down like bits of glass.
I am excited to hear about this one because I want to know what it looks like. Is it like meteors? Is it like, does the sky literally break and fall a la Chicken Little?
No. Airline failures all over the world are causing airplanes to just rain down from the sky everywhere.
That's so Shyamalan somehow.
You know what this also reminds me of? It reminds me of 2012. Because you've just got this widespread... Oh, and that one, like, recent Hellboy movie that's, like, pretty shit, other than the one scene of, like, demons just fucking going ham all over the human race.
I have not seen the David Harbour Hellboy movie.
Nor should anyone. But it's got a, like, Blood Sea-esque fucking demon slaughter scene.
That's kind of cool.
And that's what, like, this is happening. It's just airplanes crashing all over the place. And at this point, like, they're like, this has to be real. But Andrew is still on his, like, no, well, my family doesn't die. And if every other person on the earth dies, that's fine with me. Fuck them.
Wow. What a bold statement.
Yeah, no, that's his stance. It's kind of rad. It's also got a, like, at this point, even, like, Eric is like, dude, we can't just let everyone in humanity die. That's way too much. This is where it becomes a weird reverse commentary on religion, because at first the whole movie I was thinking, like, okay, this is a commentary on, like, religious zealots and the people who, like at the hands of them, who are just trying to leave well enough alone, are caught up in, like, an ideological war for, like, existential reality, which is a very prescient theme in the here and now. It, like, there are so many groups of people, especially, like, as this movie points out, LGBT people who just want to live their lives and be left alone, but they need to be, like, part of this, like, weird self-sacrificial death cult that is heralding the end of the world and is like, no, you guys need to die so that this can happen. And when, being, a non-white person from out of America is also kind of like implicitly part of like, the minorities who are being thrown under the rug.
Absolutely.
Yeah, like civilization needs to survive, so you guys have to be on the chopping block and you have to like fight amongst each other who to decide who among you that is.
And it's an interesting idea.
It is. And it would be if it didn't flip suddenly to Andrew's atheism and his inability to like, accept that there are things bigger than his family.
There we go. Shyamalan just Shyamalan all over it.
So like Andrew literally says like, that's what I believe. My family's worth any sacrifice. That's what I believe. So it's just like, okay, so this went from a movie about religion to a movie about like, well, isn't atheism kind of like a religion when you really think about it?
Oh my God. Checkmate, atheists.
Yeah, so like I said, it's The Happening meets Signs because it's the message of Signs through the lens of The Happening.
It's peak Shyamalan. We've distilled all of the Shyamalans into a single movie.
Yeah, basically this is like peak Shyamalan. And what it barrels towards, the planes are crashing all over the world. Andrew's like, yeah, fuck them. Eric's like, really though? And Wen's just like, okay, it looks like they're really telling the truth, Dad. Everything they said has been happening. Like, even the kid at this point is like, yeah, like, something has to be done. Like, she's not like, sorry, I've got to pick my dad I love the most. But she's like, something's got to be done.
Yeah.
And so Leonard goes like, all right, then, let's go outside. I want to do this part outside. You're only gonna have a few minutes after my sacrifice, so make it count. But I gotta go now. And so he goes outside, and they're all standing there. And Leonard maybe says, I think, the most insightful thing in the entire film.
Mm-hmm.
Leonard is like, the best part about teaching kids is that when you say things, they believe you. And that's why you need to be careful. You must only speak in the things you know. And you must only instill the right lessons.
Oh, I kind of like that.
And so, for a second there, this character, Dave Bautista as Leonard, is saying, like, religion, non-religion, belief in general, you have to always be you have to be truthful to children, but you also have to have truths that will help them the most.
Yeah.
It is saying something fundamentally about the nature of belief, and I think that, like, it's something that Shyamalan has been trying to get at through Signs, through The Happening, through especially Lady in the Water.
Yeah.
And, like,
sure.
leading up to this, it almost feels like Leonard he's being M. Night Shyamalan's voice in this instance.
There's always someone who's M. Night Shyamalan's voice in the movie.
I mean, M. Night Shyamalan does his typical M. Night Shyamalan cameo in this too. During one of the sequences where they're switching on the TV, there is an infomercial where he's selling like a coffee grinder.
That's fun.
Yeah, it's a good little like, oh, there he is. So Leonard's like, he's like weeping. He's like, yeah, anyway, I still believe you guys can make this choice. This is the worst possible way it could have gone, but make it count. So Dave Bautista dies. He does the final sacrifice. He says all of humanity has been judged. As soon as he does that, lightning starts crashing down all over the world, just like catching things on fire. These are God's fingers scorching the earth, and eternal darkness will soon fall. Like, so there's going to be a storm that will never rise. There's just going to be lightning all over the world, and plagues.
Lightning forever.
And planes falling down, and the oceans just
beating the shit out of all of the countries.
Exactly. It's bad. All the plagues are happening. So Andrew's all like, I gotta find my husband. Where did he run off to? Obviously, neither of them are gonna be like, let's go kill our kid. Though for a second there, I thought it was gonna be that, because it would have been like, do you choose the love of your life over this kid you haven't had for that long? That would have been the cherry on the top to make this the most uncomfortable movie ever.
Yeah, that would be ballsy, though.
It'd be ballsy, and I think it would not ground this movie so much in the worst moral ever, which is Andrew coming in and seeing Eric being like, I believe in all of it. I believe that if you sacrifice me, this will all be fine. I did see that figure. You could think I'm making it up, but like, this moment is perfect. You gotta do it now. You gotta, like, take me out of the equation. And Andrew, who is still kind of like disbelieving in all of it, he kills him. That's just, there's no twist. He kills Eric.
He kills Eric.
So he goes to get Wen from her hiding place. She knows what's she doesn't really question why Eric's not there. She kind of knows. And as they're like leaving the house, lightning is still crashing down. It breaks a big tree and the tree falls in the cabin. The whole cabin burns. Walk down the road together and get to not their car, but the car that the four people... Wait, I forgot one detail. Eric fucking going full, you gotta believe in God. He goes, don't you get it? There are four of them, and together they symbolize all of humanity. Redmond was malice. Adrian was nourishment, I think. Sabrina was caretaking. Leonard was guidance. They were the four horsemen, which is like, that's just not what the four horsemen are.
Well, okay, but when you think about it, it would kind of make sense if like one of them is like a homophobe who starts bar fights. He's war. Then one of them is a nurse, so like healthcare. She's pestilence. The other one is a cook, so famine. So they're kind of like ironic inversions on the four horsemen.
And I guess Leonard is
Death.
Guidance, aka like he's a psychopomp, which would match with his role. You actually just fucking cracked the code there, Meg.
Yeah.
That actually makes perfect sense. Their roles as characters, like I said, the characters in this movie are brilliant. The fact that the four plagues that they unleash upon their death are not war, famine, pestilence, and death, but are instead big ocean fist, sudden second flu outbreak, plane fall out of sky, and bunches of lightning.
Well, I mean, the only one that, like, maps is pestilence.
Yeah, exactly. Everything else is just kind of like, okay, how does war translate to big wave come crash down?
Well, it's clearly because Namor and Aquaman got together and decided to go to war with the surface again.
What's also incredibly stupid is that, like, if Adrian was the cook, meaning that she's the inversion of famine, why then does her death unleash the deadly flu?
Yeah, why didn't the nurse's death unleash the flu?
Her death unleashed plane fall out of sky a lot.
Oh, that famous thing in the Bible, and planes will fall from the sky.
So again, this is what I mean, where like horrific things happen in this, but the prevailing feeling of this film is awkwardness, because none of the characters, who are pretty well written and consistent, want to be here. None of them want to do the things they are doing, but every moment that the plot progresses is the hand of like this horrible, sad premise acting on them. But don't worry, because that hand is now going to be like, well, Wen and Andrew drive over to the local rest stop where everyone's gathered and are all watching TV. And on TV, people are like, huh, it's like the water just stopped rising and went back into the ocean. Then the channel also goes to like, this is our first death-free day in a long time with the flu. The planes have made a safe landing. And the mysterious lightning's gone too.
Incredible.
This is like, it's very Happening-esque.
It is. It is also incredibly Signs-esque, because I'm always going to think about how awkward that the TV reporter is. Or who's the person in Signs that's just like, everything in the history books is going to be wrong now, or whatever. They say something like that, and it's just like, what? Huh?
So basically it's like Signs or The Happening. It's just like the thing happens and then it stops happening.
Wow.
Andrew is left with this like, wow, okay, God made me kill my husband, but it was okay.
Is this just like what's that story in the Bible? Was it Isaac who had to kill his son? No, it was Abraham had to kill his son.
Abraham had to kill his son. Job was the guy who, like, lost all his wives, cattle, and children because God made a bet with Satan to be like, this guy will still like me even if I do all this shit to him. And he did.
Yeah.
So they leave the thing, and they're going to go drive away into the sunset. And the final thing in this movie, God, I really wish I had set this up. They play Boogie Shoes by Casey and the Sunshine Band.
Incredible.
And I wish I had set up, the reason behind that is because in one of the backstory flashbacks, there's all three of them, Eric, Andrew, and Wen, singing along as a family to it when they're on their way to the cabin. And so Andrew puts the radio back on, and the radio, oh fuck, it's not even their truck, and it just happens to be playing Boogie Shoes.
It just happens to be playing Boogie Shoes. Incredible.
They're playing Boogie Shoes, and Andrew switches it off, and then when, like, a few seconds of silence passes, and Wen's, like, wordlessly turns Boogie Shoes back on, and they just sit there listening to it, and then she turns it off, and it's just like, yeah,
Is that the end of the movie?
They drive away, and that's it.
Wow. In silence.
It ends awkwardly.
That really did sound like the most awkward movie of all time.
It is just like 100 minutes of Dave Bautista going like, oh, I'm sorry. I just, somebody's gotta die. All of us gotta die. I'm sorry.
I'm here for the Dave Bautista having a moment. Like, I wouldn't call it the Dave Bautista Renaissance because, like, it's not like he had a previous...
No,
I'm here for Dave Bautista being in things that aren't Marvel movies. That's what I'm trying to say here.
Yeah, no, and I'll be honest. Everything I have said about, like, the awkwardness and, like, weirdness of this movie, when it comes to the character performances, I think it's in the favor of everybody who showed up for this, that they managed to make, like, it so convincing. The problem is the plot itself, and this is kind of typical for, like, some of Shyamalan's weaker films, the plot itself strains our credibility so much that these good performances are harder to accept.
They have no sort of realistic reason to be doing anything that they're doing, but, like, if they did, you would believe it.
Dave Bautista kills it. I think, like, he really is, like, the standout of this whole movie.
How do you think what do you think is a better movie between this and Old?
Honestly, I think I'd have to say this. No, you know what?
You can say it's a tie.
Yeah, I think it's a tie because both of them I would rewatch the first half.
Have, like, strengths and weaknesses.
Yeah, both of them I would rewatch the first half, but where they go, I guess Old has the stronger ending, but, like, the first half of this is so good, and then it becomes about, but I believe in the great atheismo. Therefore,
I believe in the flying spaghetti monster.
It has that very fucking, like, I don't even know what it's called, like the Milton's Promise or something.
Pascal's Wager, where it's like,
yes,
you don't know what's gonna happen after you die, so you might as well just kind of believe everything's true.
Yes, this is, in its second half, Pascal's Wager, the movie, and I think that is its most crucial flaw. There are so many good pieces here. It's one of those things where, like, it is just a movie that cannot square the circle. It is a movie that is inscrutable. I cannot ruminate. I cannot discern the hypothesis.
You are a sad clown.
See you next time, you sad clowns.